You are watching KAVU News Now weekends at 5:30.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on 25 News Now at 5:30. I'm Zach Brown. This week, Goliad County deputies arrested 5 people after a traffic stop revealed a human smuggling event. 54-year-old Erasmo Luna of San Juan was found to be smuggling migrants in the cab of the 18-wheeler he was driving from the border to Houston. Luna was arrested for smuggling of persons and engaging in organized criminal activity. Also arrested for engaging in organized criminal activity were 24-year-old Juan Franco Salgado, 23-year-old Verena Sanchez Ramirez, 22-year-old Annabella Vargas Cruz, all from Mexico, and 25-year-old Israel Gomez from Guatemala. Bloomington is preparing for yet another town hall meeting after hosting a capacity crowd on Thursday. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting has the details. Trenton.
Thanks, Zach. Last Thursday, a packed house listened to plans by a nonprofit to incorporate parts of Bloomington as the Village of Bloomington. They'll meet again at St. Patrick's Catholic Church this Tuesday, August 27th for round 2. Many residents were concerned that the proposed plan did not include the entire community. The plans did not discuss how city services like water, fire protection, and police would be provided to the newly incorporated areas.
They already don't pay their taxes. How can we expect them to take care of our school, our streets, our community, our citizens? I need all of Bloomington to come together, our members in the cabins and out of the cabins. We don't segregate our town. We want a united town that works together to make Bloomington great again.
The meeting is from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It will focus on building committees to create petitions that incorporate the entire community. They'll be making an aggressive push to get it on the ballot in May after missing the deadline for November. Residents are hoping more questions are answered this Tuesday. Zach, back to you.
Trenton, thank you. Area veterans and first responders were honored yesterday morning to give thanks for those that help protect our country. The VFW Post 4146 hosted a breakfast for their fellow U.S. military veterans as well as former first responders. Event organizers and speaker Richard Castillo, who lost his brother in Vietnam, wanted to pay tribute to all vets and first responders, groups that he says often get overlooked when giving thanks. The event featured food, music, and fellowship.
We don't want to forget them because they're the reasons why we're here. They're the reasons why we're still alive because they gave their lives for us to live.
The VFW held a special dedication for Castillo's deceased brother Manuel following the event. Castillo says that he hopes it can become an annual event. Today we remember the anniversary of one of the most devastating storms to hit Texas, that being Hurricane Harvey. Harvey first made landfall on August 25th in 2017. It caused an estimated $125 billion in damage, second only to Hurricane Katrina. Some areas of southeast Texas received more than 40 inches of rain in less than 2 days. Victoria County saw 27 destroyed homes and had 75% of properties damaged by flooding. As we paid tribute to the resilience of our local counties during that historic storm, we're reminded to stay vigilant and prepared for future storms. With that being said, it's time to talk weather on this Sunday evening. Let's check in with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Trey Mining to see what the rest of your week will look like. Trey.
Well, thankfully, we're not seeing anything in the tropics really brewing currently. Have some tropical moisture headed our way, which will bring some rainfall, but nothing like we saw 7 years ago with Harvey, of course. And looking at the radar, seeing some lingering rain showers and storms, one north about into Inez, between there and about near south of Hallettsville, actually, near Goliad, pushing to the west, moving on through. More rainfall in our forecast, definitely coming up courtesy of some tropical waves in the Gulf of Mexico. How long is it going to last? Looks like it's going to be a pretty stormy week overall. Get your umbrellas handy. We'll give the details on that later on in the full forecast to come. Zach?
Trey, thank you. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 5:30. A financial aid application overhaul causing problems this semester. Many colleges across the country are beginning their fall semesters, and in some cases, enrollment is down. Some schools say an overhaul with the financial aid application process, known as FAFSA, caused major problems this year, and the ripple effect caused the enrollment drop. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona is assuring parents and students the problems will be fixed and people can start applying for federal financial aid by December 1st for the 2025-2026 school year. About 75% of nearly 400 private colleges and universities recently responded to a survey that said the FAFSA issues changed the makeup of this year's freshman class. Not only are the classes smaller, but the survey found the classes are less diverse than in years past, and that will lead us to your viewer poll. Do you know anyone who struggled with the financial aid application? 24% say yes, 76% say no. Thank you for voting. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. We'll have an update on 25 News Now at 10. The terrorist group ISIS now claiming responsibility for that horrific stabbing attack in Germany. A word that just coming in, there has been a second arrest. Police raiding a refugee housing complex near the scene of the attack. At least 3 people were killed, several others injured. The incident taking place at a festival in a western city.
Tonight, an urgent manhunt now underway in Germany for the person authorities say is responsible for a violent stabbing attack in the city of Solingen Friday night. ISIS now claiming responsibility for the incident, which left at least 3 people dead and 8 more injured. The city's mayor saying, "Last night, our hearts were torn apart. We in Solingen are full of horror and grief." The emergency calls coming in just after 9:30 p.m. local time. The unidentified individual attacking people with a knife in the middle of the crowded Festival of Diversity, commemorating the city's 650th anniversary. An organizer at a stage nearby urging festival goers to keep calm, but also your eyes open because the perpetrator is on the run. The crime scene cordoned off. Forensics teams searching the area for evidence. The attack occurring in the audience in front of this stage. The lights above it still operating today. As mourners gather nearby, a growing memorial of flowers and candles honoring the victims. 2 men, ages 56 and 67, and a 56-year-old woman did not survive. Police announcing a 15-year-old is now under arrest. They say they don't believe he was the attacker, but suspect him of knowing about it in advance. Tonight, a police operation underway at this refugee housing complex after they say they received a tip in the case. Authorities making a second arrest there. Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz speaking today, saying we must never accept this in our society and must do everything we can to investigate and prosecute the concrete offenses, but also do everything we can to prevent such things from happening again. And while ISIS has claimed responsibility, it's still unclear exactly how closely tied the attacker may have been to the group. Police say they're working to determine a motive, and right now they are urging people to stay vigilant. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, London.
And watching a couple of thunderstorms rolling around the Crossroads region just north of Victoria along 77 and near the Fort Tran area, getting near Quail as well, and one near Beeville. And a few earlier, but much faded away near Wharton Ocampo. More rain on the way? Yes, and big time rains as well. Could be. I'll give you the details on that coming up in my full forecast to come up. Everyone running here, and a little bit of rain around the area this afternoon. Definitely was a good thing. Kept the temperatures down a little bit. That'll be a plus this week with cloud cover and rainfall anticipated. Keep those heat index values well under what we have been seeing the last several weeks. And currently, by 9 o'clock in the evening, I should say, the heat index value is still about 90 degrees in the 80s and 70s in the overnight. Again, for your day Monday, we're rising up pretty rapidly, and maybe near 100 degree heat index value coming up by 2 o'clock in the afternoon Monday with rainfall in the forecast area, keeping the temperature down a little bit. Remember, last week we were approaching 110 or even higher, so that's definitely a blessing with the rainfall and clouds that are moving on through. Speaking of that, it's a cluster of storms north of Victoria along 77 headed toward Quero currently, but as we lose the daytime heat, these will begin to fade away. But more on the way, courtesy of some tropical waves out in the Gulf of Mexico. What is just a open wave of low pressure. You see kind of a little bit of twist in the atmosphere right here. It's trying to get organized, but it's having a hard time doing so. It's very disorganized, not really worried about it too much. And it's headed toward us. You kind of see the motion in the satellite loop here. So that means the rainfall will be increasing for your day tomorrow. I think we'll have more of a numerous outbreak of rain showers and storms around here for your Monday than we did today. And this will be a forerunner of things to come. More tropical moisture coming in behind this wave will keep the rain chances in for our region here for the majority of the week coming up. So that's definitely a plus there. Do need the rainfall. Take a look at the tropics. High pressure in the Atlantic Ocean. Of course, pretty much standard for this time of year. So weak tropical activity, the tropical waves here, nothing too organized at all. Off the African coast and kind of getting near the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico as well. Watching our little disturbance there off the Texas coast. This is an old frontal boundary off the east coast of the United States. So pretty quiet overall in the tropical activity areas around here in the Atlantic Basin. So we're not really worried about that. We'll keep watching though. And of course, here's the future tracker here. We're seeing the low pressure area we've been watching getting near the Texas coast for your day tomorrow with the higher rainfall chances during that time for your day on Monday and Tuesday. And pretty much the same goes throughout the majority of the week. More tropical activity coming in on the conveyor belt of moisture coming in from the Gulf, giving us good rainfall totals around here, kind of getting a little bit closer to home here on the crossroads. Keep the clouds in. It'll be partly cloudy in the overnight tonight, but here comes the rain coming in from the east, coming in off the Gulf of Mexico for your day tomorrow, through the morning hours along the coast, work its way inland throughout the rest of the day on your Monday. So pretty good dosing of rain, some brief heavy rainfall not out of the question as we head toward the day of Monday into about the middle and latter half of the week. And by Tuesday, we should see rainfall amounts anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 inches. The closer to the coast you get, south of US 59, the better the rain chance will be and the better the amounts will be. Looks like the main emphasis will be in the Houston-Galveston area and points to the east from there. But we should see a pretty good dose of rain everywhere you go in the crossroads area for your day tomorrow, which is something we need. Quero, starting off cloudy skies for the majority of the day tomorrow. Best rain chance in the afternoon about 3 o'clock or so to about 6 p.m. or so. The high temperature is probably only near 90 degrees at best. Thankful to the cloud cover for that. Fort Lavaca, rainfall chance as well. Pretty good 60% chance in there as well as with temperatures near 90 degrees for the daytime high. Victoria, cloudy skies all day long. Some peaks of the sunshine, but rainfall chances throughout the day. High temperatures in the low 90s at best. Extended forecast, take a look at this. Hadn't seen this in quite a while. Rain likely throughout the majority of the week. Some brief heavy rain possible. Maybe trying to slow down a little bit by Sunday. Highs in the low 90s and a little bit cooler. Lows in the 70s. Take your umbrella with you. Watch weather developments just in case and be safe out there. Take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code you see right there. That'll take you to a web page. You can download our app. News, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, free of charge to be connected with us. We got sports now with Ray.
Thank you, Trey. The Goliad volleyball team secures a tournament victory coming up on 25 News Now Sports. We talk about that and more. The volleyball tournament in Schulenburg concluded yesterday. We talked about it. You probably got a little glimpse of everything that we talked about yesterday. And two teams in the Crossroads were taking part in Goliad and Yoakum. The heavily favored Goliad Tigers walked away with the gold. After beating the home team in Schulenburg early on in the day, the Tigrettes found themselves taking on victorious St. Joseph later on in the championship game. Maven Wongsh led the way with 12 kills, along with Addison Yertney, who was behind her with 11. Goliad won the 1-2 series, the final scores being 25-18, and the second one 25-22. Big congrats to Goliad. And staying on the subject of high school athletics, the stage is set for high school football. Many teams have relocated conferences, so a lot of teams will be traveling. More matchups are no longer district or no longer happening. So here's today's viewer poll. Are you satisfied with the conference reconstruction in football? Yes, no, or not sure. It's a big change here on the Crossroads, but don't worry, myself, Max, and Zach got you covered on all things high school football on Fridays with our CFL Live show. And the Little League World Series concluded today, and the state of Texas was represented heavily. Just an hour away from us in the San Antonio area in Bernie, which is representing Texas, took on Florida yesterday in the semifinal. A close game for both teams. Texas was looking to secure the win, but it was Florida ushering back a comeback later on in the game. Final score 10-7. And speaking of Florida, big congratulations to them in winning the World Series. And the excitement for college football capped off yesterday. The first college game day of the season took place yesterday in Dublin, Ireland. Georgia Tech taking on Florida State in a surprisingly early ACC conference matchup, so a lot to play for, right? A game that went all the way to the end with Georgia Tech upsetting Florida State, final score 24-21. And let's take things over to the MLB. The Cleveland Guardians hosting the Texas Rangers, final game of this series. The Rangers with the hopes of securing a win for the series, but couldn't get things going until the top of the fifth. When doubles right for a run to be made. The Guardians still found themselves in the driver's seat after the Rangers' first run on the board. The Guardians were able to steal another run after the pitcher error. The game ends with the Guardians winning. Final score 4-2. And the Astros will be in action here shortly. They are on the road taking on the Baltimore Orioles, hopefully avenging a close loss. The first pitch is at 6:10 p.m. The Orioles looking to close out the Astros in the final game of this series. And let's end things with some Cowboys preseason action. Yesterday, they took on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers, a team being able to have their way with the Cowboys. A 78-yard pass to Sim Fehilko, putting the Chargers up 14-3. The Cowboys try to answer back as QB Trey Lance with a 46-yard run TD, but an all-around bad performance for Lance, ending it with 5 interceptions and 1 touchdown. So, Zach, there's hope that Dak had a solid backup QB in Lance. And so does that make this the case for today's game?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the Cowboys better hope that Dak is the Dak Prescott of old and not the Dak Prescott over the last couple of years where he was amongst the league leader in interceptions. Had a decent year last year, though, but Trey Lance is not it. Ray, thank you. Stick around. Man's best friend will be celebrated tomorrow. Here's to man's best friend. Monday is National Dog Day. The day was created to recognize how many dogs need to be rescued each year. It honors family pets and dogs that put their lives on the line each day, such as law enforcement canine partners, dogs that help find and rescue victims of accidents or tragedies, and working companions for the disabled. You can celebrate by adopting or begin fostering a pup. volunteering at a shelter, or donating to a shelter or rescue organization. Also, take a minute to shop for your furry friends. Lots of online pet retailers are offering deep discounts on this National Dog Day. Now, I know a lot of people love to watch or walk their dog, rather. A lot of dogs don't like rain, and I know you got some rain in the forecast.
Well, there'll be at times will be raining cats and dogs on the outside. So it could be the case. 60% chances tomorrow, as you see, throughout the majority of the week coming up. So be careful out there. We do need the rainfall, and thankful for the cloud cover. Keeps temperature down to the low 90s for highs. So watch weather developments throughout the week.
Yeah, you'll get used to Don Brubaker and Trey Mining with some of the most outrageous things, some of the funniest things you could possibly say. Trey, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. We hope to see you back here for 25 News Now at 10.